Hi everybody and welcome back today. So today I thought I'd speak about something I've actually been through in the past. What should you do if you're accused of having an affair and there's been no affair? Now, from a personal point of view, it is really irritating and you can destroy everything in a matter of seconds just by being accused of it. Because the argument is there's no trust, the other person doesn't trust you, and you can just destroy everything straight away. Now, I've been accused of it, and when I say accused of it, been accused of having affairs on 3 occasions when I never did. Now, I have been guilty of it in the past to one person, a woman called Sarah. I shouldn't have done it. But like I've said in past videos, I was spiralling out of control at the time when I did do it. Now, the other 3 times, and I'll go in reverse order from the most recent to the longest away. Mainly because the longest away, I hope if she watches this, she ain't watching it when it comes to me speaking about her, because I'm probably going to get a phone call with her ranting and raving at me. So the most recent one was over a decade ago, because me and my wife have been together for about 11 years, and I still remember it because I was working in the home improvement sector at the time. I was working for Apple Home Improvement, which it got taken over by Hampshire Double Glazing or something up in Winchester, something like that they were called. And I was working up in Kingston upon Thames because I was always being moved around branches. You know, I worked at Portsmouth, Southampton, Kingston, and out of our Bournemouth branches. And my boss, who was a married woman, gave me a lift home one day. Okay, I was the last person she was taking home. Okay, she dropped me outside my house. And I'd only just got with my my now wife, and my stepdaughter came to the gate and saw me talking to her. And I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble for this, admitting to this. She put 2 and 2 together, came up with 10, goes running into Mummy and says, "Mummy, Kevin's having an affair. He's in the car with another woman." Which is true, I was in a car with another woman. Okay, now, I get out of the car, go indoors to my partner, and she says, "What on earth's going on?" The stepdaughter, what is my stepdaughter? I'm not going to name her. It's just told me that you've been messing about. I said, "No, I've been messing about. I was talking to my boss." You know, sometimes you've got to be civil and polite. You know, I do work with women at the end of the day. This was actually quite funny. And this is how I actually managed to handle it. Because a lot of people would have flown off and gone absolutely ballistic. And it's the worst thing you can do. Because as soon as you do that, you make yourself look guilty. Because if you've done nothing, you've got no reason to go mad. And yes, some people can be emotional, and they can. But it's the worst thing you can do. And what I did was I stayed calm and I said, "That's my manager. Do you really think I'm going to go and sleep with my manager? Second of all, she's married. And third of all, she's married to somebody in the armed forces. Do you really think I want a kick-in over it? Okay. And if you don't believe me, I'll give you a phone number. You can go and phone her up right now." And that's what I did. And she let it go. Because she believed me. Because she knew I hadn't done anything. Okay. So, I'll leave that one there for now. Second time was my ex-wife. And this was the best one. Now, when I speak about my ex-wife, which happens to be another Sarah, Okay. The irony was she cheated on me at least twice, but I know of. Okay. Now, I was the stupid person, but after finding out she'd already had one affair, I take her back and she goes and has another affair within a matter of weeks. Now, my problem was, at the time, I loved her too much. Didn't want to lose her. I felt getting divorced or separation was failure on my part. Never ranted at her. Never asked who the person was. I knew who the person was. Knew point blank who it was. Never went and paid him a visit. Or anything like that a lot of people would do. Never did any of that. Because I wanted to fix the underlying issues. Which, if you listen to a lot of psychologists nowadays, will say, a woman goes and cheats on you, run. Run in the opposite direction as fast as you can. And there's an argument for that. There is a true argument for that. Because there's an underlying problem. And a lot of that was my failures at the time. And the irony was, when we got divorced, because we got divorced, I had no plans of getting divorced or anything. I only got divorced from her because me and my current wife were planning on getting married. That's the reason we got divorced. And I still remember to this day, remember, I've just told you, she cheated on me. I never cheated on her. She cheated on me. She goes and petitions the court and she puts in there that I had an affair. And I thought, you cheeky cow. You go and put in there. After you've had affairs, you've openly admitted to having affairs. And then you go and say in court papers that I had an affair. Now, because I'm a lot smarter than her, and when I say smarter, IQ-wise, she's probably a lot smarter than me. Okay. But where I was smarter than her was, I don't delete emails. Because I've worked in business for so many years, I don't delete anything. And because at the time, we had shared emails, she'd emailed me on a few occasions before the divorce, she openly admitted that she knew I'd never had an affair. So I had it in black and white. From her own personal email. So, and I think I've still got the emails, to be honest. And we've been divorced for what? Well, I got married in 2018. So you're probably talking a year or maybe a year before that. So we've been divorced for about 8 years. Okay, maybe even longer than that. And I've still got I believe I've still got the emails. So I put the response back to the courts. I said, this is a load of rubbish. If you're willing, and I remember putting in the response to the court, I remember putting, still to this day, I put, if you change it from adultery to unreasonable behaviour, I will agree to the divorce. No questions, I'm happy with that, unreasonable behaviour. But I have evidence to back up saying that she knows I never had an affair and that she admits that she had an affair. And what do the courts do? They throw it out of court because they're not willing to change it. And to be honest, why should they? Their time's valuable enough as it is. So a bit more time goes by and I phone up my ex-wife Sarah when she was at work and managed to have a civil conversation. First civil conversation that we had in maybe a couple of years. And I said to her, I said, look, do you want to get divorced? And she said, yeah. I said, right, I will sort out all the paperwork if we can agree on how we get divorced. Okay, and this is, I don't want anything from you, don't want any money from you, don't want anything, because we had no kids or anything, we had no collateral that was tying each of us to each other. Yet she had a pension. I had no interest in any of it. Okay, so I said to her, If you agree to it on the grounds of unreasonable behaviour, I will fix the paperwork and I'll pay the extra costs. And she said, fine, that's no problem. So get it all sorted out. I'd already spoken to the courts anyway. So I knew what needed to be fixed. So all the paperwork went back, all got sorted out, all went through. Job done. Never spoken to her ever since. Okay, to be honest, she's also blocked me on Facebook and all the social media platforms. You know, to be honest, she has let herself go quite a bit as well. And as far as I'm aware, she's not with the guy anymore as well. You know, hopefully, in my book, hopefully she manages to have a happy life. You know, I've got no ill feeling towards her. You know, a lot of people say I should because she had an affair, but I don't. So that was the second time. The third occasion was my fault. Was my fault. And I'm going to say this to every man out there. Never, never under any circumstances make this mistake. And I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest, because this is the mistake I made. I made a comment to a pregnant woman. Okay. I said something really stupid after she said something very nice to me. Okay. And this was the first woman I ever loved. Okay. And she said to me that I will always love you no matter what. And she was pregnant at the time. And what did I do? Being an ass and being a dick, because that's what I was, I went and put a response back to her, and it was a text message, and I still can't believe I did it to this day. And I tried to forget about doing it for a long time. I said to her, even if I had an affair. Why I said it, I've got no idea. Whether it is male bravado, you know, a quick response, I don't know. And I still could not tell a single person. If I got asked today or tomorrow or any day in the future, I could not give a response. And the problem with that is the woman in question was 6 months pregnant. And that was the stupid thing. So what I'm going to say to any male that's watching this, do not do it. Do not go and say something so stupid, because you risk losing everything. Everything you care about, everything that's dear to you, you risk losing a lot. Whether it's true or not, you do not say it. Now, at the time, it wasn't true. And there are other things to do with the backstory to do with that. But with that person, and I'm not going to mention her name. I'm not. Okay. But the comment should have never been said. And it's like anything in life. Once it's said, you can't take it back. And that's one thing that's always haunted me personally. As a person, it's always haunted me, because I made a stupid ass comment. And once I've made that comment, I can't take it back. And when you're taking, for instance, a woman that's going to be 6 months pregnant, all the hormones that are going, they're going to believe it. Trust me, they will believe it. And they will hold it against you for the rest of your life. Which is what happened to me. Now, was I cheating on that person? No. I would have never dared cheating on her. And people can think what they want to think at the end of the day. I would have never cheated on her. to be honest, I cared too much about her. I still care about her to this day. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to her. And like I said about my ex-wife, I hope she's having a happy life at the moment. So the reality is, what can you actually do if somebody accuses you of having an affair? Well, the worst thing you can ever do is start losing your rag, because you're not going to get yourself anywhere. Because the first thing, especially a woman's going to think, is you're guilty as sin. As soon as you start losing your temper, you've lost it. You're dead and buried. And then you've got to find out, really, what's the underlying issue? Why are they actually accusing it? Is it a case of they're lacking self-esteem? Is it a case that they don't like you anymore? Is it a case that there's a lack of communication in your relationship? Is it a case that maybe you're too friendly towards people of the opposite sex, and it could mix into some of the other things? They're the things that fundamentally that you've got to take a look at and actually address, because every man's guilty of it. You walk, I live right by the beach. Okay, I don't go out in the summer because I have lots of women that come down to the beach in skimpy outfits, and I know my wife is going to give me aggro for it. So the furthest I go is either to the school to drop my kids off, or I go to the allotment. Or if I go to the beach, I'm there at 7 o'clock in the morning, when I know that you're not going to have any women in bikinis, short skirts or tank tops. So I'm safe from thinking that I'm looking. Either that, or you make sure you're wearing sunglasses so they can't see where you're looking. Okay, which causes you another problem, because they're going to automatically think it. And the other problem that you've got to address is what's potentially happened in their past. Is it a case that they have insecurity because maybe something's happened in their past? It may be a case of, for instance, their mother or father cheated on their other parent. It may be a case that they've had previous partners that have done the dirty on them, and they just don't trust anybody. But then the question is, if they have that trust barrier, but they need to address it, because if they don't address it, they're never going to be able to move on with life. And whether that means counselling, whether that means actually opening up and talking about it, something actually physically needs to be done, because otherwise they're just going to keep on accusing you of it. Since that day that I got accused of it, my wife has never ever accused me, and I could arguably spend all day with one of her friends without her being in the house. She could leave one of her friends round our house, and she wouldn't even think twice that I would actually do anything. And to be honest, she's left one of her friends, but yeah, I do mess about with and everything, not in that way. I'm not thought twice that anything would happen between the two of us. She's a lovely girl as well, really nice girl. She needs to find herself somebody as well. I've been telling her for long enough now. Okay, so I hope this helps somebody out. Okay, obviously, thanks for watching. Got any questions? Just drop them in the comments down below. And obviously, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe as well. But for now, thanks for watching.